We've got Brian Montse back at Command Center, and with us in spirit, Stephanie Hagel, who will be back in the booth with us in 2021. Well, hope you enjoyed summer. Autumn just rolled in off Lake Erie. That's what it feels like tonight. Wow, has it cooled off. And we've got breezes blowing in from right field. Very seldom in August does the wind ever blow in from right. And even as hot as this summer has been, one of the hottest in recent memory, when you get the winds blowing in from Lake Erie, it's amazing how it drops that temperature 10, 15 degrees. It's a beautiful night. Sunny skies, blue skies, but a breeze blowing in, making it a pitcher's night here at the corner of Carnegie in Ontario. 325 down the lines, 370 to left center, 375 to right center, 400 to dead center, the 19-foot wall from the left field corner to almost straightaway center, and then the wall 9 feet high in center and in right. The Reds come in with a record of 5-7, third place in the NL Central, 5 games behind the rampaging Cubs, who are 10-2. Cubs have ripped off 6 straight wins. Meanwhile, the Indians are 7-6, third place in the AL Central. The Indians are 3.5 out because, like the Cubs, Minnesota is 10-2. They have won 6 straight. And those 2 ball clubs right now with the best records in the major leagues. Jerry Meals is the crew chief, and he'll make the calls behind home plate tonight. Ed Hickox at first, Jordan Baker at second, and Jeremy Rehack is the third base umpire, and a crew that has umpired the Indians' last 8 ball games, 4 in Minneapolis and the 4 between the Indians and the Reds. Final meeting between these ball clubs until they meet again in Goodyear, hopefully in 2021. Hopefully we'll be back to normal and have a spring training in which they share that beautiful complex and ballpark in Goodyear. And right now the Indians are 2-1 against Cincinnati. And boy, when it comes to interleague play, the Cincinnati Reds have been Major League's worst team since interleague play started. The Reds are now 62 games under 500 when they play the American League. There's no other team, be it the American League or National League, that has had a tougher time in interleague play than the Cincinnati Reds. And tonight, Carlos Carrasco will continue those woes, at least he hopes, as he'll be on the hill for the Indians. And the Indians will have a tough customer in Luis Castillo. Again, look, scoring all over Major League Baseball is way down. The pitching has been so dominant all over the major leagues. The pitchers are clearly ahead of the hitters to this point. And when you have these 2 pitching staffs meeting each other, you have 2 of the very best rotations in all of baseball. So you don't expect many runs to be scored. And that's been the case, whether it's been here in Cleveland or in Cincinnati. The Indians in the first 3 games against Cincinnati, the Indians have scored a grand total of 8 runs, and the Indians twice have been held to 2 runs, and once they've scored 4. Cincinnati, on the other hand, has only scored 5 runs in the first 3 games. And again, yeah, the hitters are struggling on both sides, but really, more importantly, the pitching has been that good. And oh my, what a matchup that we have tonight. Carlos Carrasco against Luis Castillo. The Indians tonight are going to wear their red jerseys with the navy blue scripted Indians across the front of the jersey, a little white trim as well, and the Indians with the white pants. And the Cincinnati Reds will go with their all gray road uniforms, and Cincinnati across the front of the jersey in red lettering and white trim. Carlos Carrasco, 33 years of age. He is 6'4", 224. Fastball, cut fastball, curve, slider, and that devastating split change. Carrasco has faced Cincinnati 6 previous times in his career, and he's never lost to the Redlegs. As lifetime, he is 3-0 against the Reds with a career ERA of 4.05. Shogo Akiyama, the high-priced free agent from Japan, will lead it off for Cincinnati. A left-handed hitter who's 2 for 11 against the Indians so far. Carrasco works out of the stretch, delivers, and the first pitch is up high, ball one, and we're underway here at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario.
74 degrees,
74 degrees, the game time temp. Carrasco sets first base side of the rubber, and the pitch is swung on, tapped foul at the plate, and the count is a ball and a strike. Akiyama is batting .212, does not have a home run, a couple of RBIs. He has a couple of doubles, one stolen base as he's getting acclimated to the major leagues. The pitch to him, and he waves at it, and that is the strike, and it's 1-2. There's that good split change from Carlos Santana, where the breeze is really blowing in. There is a shadow issue right now for the hitters, especially. The pitch, a swing and a miss, same pitch, split change, struck him out. And Carrasco makes quick work of Akiyama and gets a strikeout to start tonight's ball game. And again, if you are a pitcher, especially here in the first 3 innings of this game, you're going to want to change speeds and throw a lot of breaking balls. Tough for the hitter to pick it up. There are streams of sunshine and shadows in the batter's box. Pitcher's mound mostly in shadows, but then sunshine on the grass area behind the mound. Nick Castellanos looks, and he takes it's a breaking ball strike. Castellanos leading the National League in extra base hits, in home runs, in RBIs, third in the National League in batting average. What a start. The pitch, and he sends it high in the air, foul out of play to the right, 0-2. Castellanos, the longtime Tiger. They knew they couldn't re-sign him, traded him to the Cubs last summer, and the Reds got him in a 4-year contract, and it looks like a bargain already. Castellanos is batting .366, 6 homers, 13 RBIs. He's hit safely in all 12 Reds games. Now the 0-2. And it's swung on. This is hit a ton to center. Back goes to Shields, and he'll make the catch of the line drive in fairly deep center. And again, that wind blowing in, and Nick Castellanos will head back to the first base dugout going, I thought I left Comerica Park. You hit a ball in the air, even when you square it up like Castellanos did, and it's just not going anywhere. 2 down, here's Joey Votto. The Indians overload the right side of the infield. The left-handed hitter batting .243, 3 homers, 7 ribbies. The pitch to him, and it's in there, called strike. The Indians have Oscar Mercado in left field tonight. Delino DeShields in his Indians debut in center. And Domingo Santana back in the Indians lineup and in right. Votto takes one in the dirt, 1-1. Carlos Santana at first. Cesar Hernandez at second. Francisco Lindor at short. Jose Ramirez at third. And the catcher is Bo Taylor. No score. Reds batting, 2 down. Bases empty. Inning number 1. Now the pitch. And it's waved at. And that is strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carrasco, 1 win, 1 loss. ERA 3.75. He's made 2 starts so far this campaign against Kansas City and Minnesota, averaging 6 innings a start, averaging 11 strikeouts and 2 walks per 9 innings. Votto close to the plate in a crouch, and the pitch to him, and he floats it foul off to the left, and the count stays 1-2. This guy always puts the ball in play. 7 walks and 1 strikeout so far in 2020. While the Indians overload the right side of the infield in the shift, the outfield plays Votto the opposite way toward left and not real deep. But Votto has shown he can still hit the long ball. Got a game-winning home run in Cincinnati against the Tribe. off Zach Plesac. The pitch to him, and it's just a bit low. Carrasco thought the inning might be over. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For those who want a little more adventure, check out the new Toyota RAV4. The most advanced safety features, two-year no-cost maintenance, all standard. Go to buyatoyota.com. Carrasco brings the hands up by the chin, and the pitch is low, full count. And this is Joey Votto in a nutshell. He might be behind in the count, but he never swings the bat like he's behind in the count. He doesn't chase, and he probably knows the strike zone better than anyone, maybe even the umpires. Now the payoff pitch. Outside and high, and he's now walked 8 times to 1 strikeout. So the Reds have a 2-out base runner for Eugenio Suarez, and they need him to get going for their offense to kick it into gear. This is a guy last year batted .271, set a major league record for home runs by a third baseman in the National League with 49 and knocked in 103. So far this year, Eugenio Suarez, a batting average of .098. 4 for 41. The pitch to him, and he fouls it back upstairs, strike 1. He has 1 home run. That came against the Indians. 3 RBIs. And this is a guy that wasn't a one-year wonder. In his 5 years with the Reds, he's become one of the most proficient and prolific power hitters in the National League. The pitch to him, and it's swung on and missed. And the count goes to 0-2. Suarez had 49 homers last year, obviously a career high, but he had 34 the year before. He's had back-to-back years of 100 RBIs or more. So this start is perplexing. No score, inning number 1 for the Reds. The pitch, and it bounced in there. Good block by Taylor, sliding on his knees to his right. And the count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eugenio Suarez came from the Detroit Tigers for pitcher Alfredo Simon. Reds may never make a better trade than that one. Votto hardly off the bag at first. Indians shift 3 on the left side of the infield, and it's a slider outside, and the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Suarez has a home run off Carrasco in previous encounters. Indians straight up, medium deep in the outfield. The pitch to him, and he fouls it back of the plate. Another breaking ball. And the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos Carrasco. He has now moved beyond Charlie Nagy in the all-time strikeout list for Indians pitching. He is 7th on the all-time list. Next up, CC Sabathia. Carrasco's ready. Here it comes. And it's a little bit high, full count. And boy, after 2 quick outs, Votto and Suarez really making Carrasco work. Votto will be off at first here with 2 down in the first. No score yet. Boy, the way that wind is blowing in, you look at your calendar and think it's September. Now the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Chase the slider down and away. And Carrasco strikes out Suarez. Gets a pair in the inning. The Rio is some of the best stuff in baseball on the mound tonight for the Reds. No score in inning number 1. The right-hander facing Cesar Hernandez, who bats left-handed. And the pitch sails high, a ball. He throws a 4-seam fastball in the upper 90s. Throws a sinker, slider, and one of the best changeups in baseball. Fastball is in there, 97 miles an hour, 1-1 the count. And Castillo does it effortlessly. He works third base side of the rubber, into the motion. Here it comes. And it's outside and it missed by a little, 2-1. Castillo, 27 years of age, 6'2", 200 pounds. Hernandez, switch hitter, batting left-handed. The pitch. And it's in there. Another corner job on the outside edge of the plate. 2-2. Castillo faced the Indians once last year's only career appearance. He misses with a hard stuff high. He didn't get the decision, but boy, it was impressive. Gave up a run in 6 innings. Luis Castillo, he was here last summer for the All-Star game. Now the windup and the 3-2. A swing and a miss, threw it by him at 97 miles an hour. And Castillo strikes out Hernandez to start the Indians first. Jose Ramirez, switch hitter. He will swing it from the left side. The Reds have Shogo Akiyama. He's in left. Nick Senzel's in center. And Nick Castellanos in right. Joey Votto at first. Tonight, Kyle Farmer at second. Freddie Galvis at short. Eugenio Suarez at third. And the catchers again, Tucker Barnhart. Ramirez jumps and turns out of the way of a fastball that almost nicked him. Ball 1. Jose Ramirez, 1 hit in his last 19 at-bats. And that next pitch a little outside. 2-0. Boy, when you're slumping as the Indians are as a team, this is the last guy you want to face. Castillo's pitch inside. He almost hit him again with a 97-mile-an-hour heater. 3-0. Ramirez, 1 hit in 19 at-bats. Average has dipped to 277. Couple of homers, 7 ribbies. Now the 3-0. Bullseye, 3-1. Castillo is in his third start. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 4.5. He's faced Detroit twice. The pitch swung on, fouled back, full count. Against the Tigers in 2 starts, he went an average of 6 innings per start, and he averaged 13 strikeouts and 2 walks per 9 innings. Second hitter, he's gone deep. 3-2, swung on and ripped into deep right field and gone. Jose Ramirez on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball hit a rope to the seats in right. And the Indians have a 1-0 lead, and Ramirez has his 3rd home run. Well, Jose was sitting dead red on the 3-2 count. He got a 98-mile-an-hour heater, and my goodness, he jumped all over it. The Indians have their 9th home run as a team. The Reds have twice that many, 18. Here's Frankie Lindor, switch hitter, batting left-handed.
Estimated distance on the Ramirez home run, 416 feet.
The wind, the pitch, and he went with a slider outside for ball 1. 416 feet on the blast to right by Ramirez. Lindor fouled back a fastball. Now, the one thing you know with this guy, you're going to see some fastballs, but then again, you better be able to hit 97, 98, and then he'll go with an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. That's why he is so impressive. Here it comes, and he went right there with a changeup and missed. 2 balls and a strike. Lindor is batting .231, 3 homers, all left-handed, 8 RBIs. The pitch to him, and it's swung on, grounded towards the second baseman, and Farmer throws him out, and that is out number 2. Now Carlos Santana to the plate, switch hitter batting left-handed. He's in a 1-for-20 skid. 2 down, nobody on, Tribe leading 1-0. Hey, get running on Dunkin' with free Coffee Mondays and free Donut Fridays. That's for DD Perks members with purchase. America and Cleveland run on Dunkin'. Castillo feet close together into the motion from the third base side of the rubber, and as he started to deliver, Santana stepped out. Carlos, feet close together himself, open stance, deep in the box, takes the slider strike. Santana batting 171, a home run, 2 ribbies. The next offering, and he missed outside with a changeup. Reds put 3 on the right side of the infield. The outfield straight away, medium deep. Now the 1-1. Fouled upstairs, and Santana with a 1-2 count. Luis Castillo. Last year was 15-8 with a 3.40 ERA, 226 strikeouts. The 1-2 missed outside, 2-2. Hard to believe, but this guy has been traded 4 times already. The 2-2 swung on, a little bouncer headed toward first, foul. How do you have an arm like his and get traded 4 times? But he initially was with San Francisco, traded to Miami. 2 years later, traded to San Diego. 2 days after that trade, traded back to Miami. Now the pitch down low, and the count is full. And then Miami traded him a second time. This time to the Reds. Boy, has he found a home. This is the 3rd Indians hitter with a 3-2 count in the first inning. Here's the payoff. Inside, he walked him. So while Santana is batting a .171, he is second in the American League with a dozen walks. So the one thing about Castillo here in the early going, he hasn't had as good command. 3 of the 4 hitters have had a 3-2 count. And again, it's baby steps, but that's a good sign for an Indians club that has chased a lot of pitches and been impatient at times. Franmil Reyes, the Indians DH, he's batting 163. 1 homer, 4 RBIs. Hands at the belt from the set, the pitch, and a slider down and away, ball 1. And right now, for Castillo, he is inconsistent with every pitch as far as throwing strikes. Fastball, slider, and changeup. He delivers. Slider strike on the outer edge, and the count 1-1. Reyes has struck out 15 times in 43 at-bats. He's walked once. Outfield, fairly deep, a bit toward right. The pitch, and it's in there, a strike, 97 miles an hour. And that had a little sink to it. Not a shift, but the infield certainly pulled to the left. The second baseman, Farmer, just to the right of second. Santana edges off first. Now the 1-2. A little swing and fly ball to right, near the line, into the seats foul. He was tardy on the hard stuff. Well, Castillo has had to make 27 pitches this inning. The Reds leave here after this game and go to Milwaukee. The Indians will head to Chicago and play the White Sox. Manager Terry Francona not managing tonight and will not manage this weekend either. He'll stay home and hopefully be good to go when the Indians come back home next Tuesday to face the Cubs. The 1-2 delivery, down low, slider missing, ball 2, strike 2. So we wish Tito well, and it'd be great to get him back. In the meantime, Sandy Alomar and this Indians coaching staff doing a great job. They're without Tito, without Brad Mills. Those are 2 huge losses. 1-0 Indians. Santana at first, 2 down in the first. Castillo's 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So Reyes continues to really struggle. A couple of strikeouts for Castillo, but boy, did he labor in this first. And the pitch is swung on and hammered up the gap in right center. DeShields over to cut it off. He'll spin. He'll throw to second. Winker trying for two, and he's in with a head-first slide. So a hustle double to the gap in right center, and Jesse Winker, hitting 143, gets his first extra base hit of the season. That'll bring up the center fielder, Nick Senzel. So the Reds get the tying run aboard to start the second. Legacy Roofing is Ohio's premier roofing service provider. Whether you need a roof repair or maybe a full roof replacement, call 855-GOT-ROOF for a free estimate and visit LegacyRoofingOH.com for more details. Nick Senzel, right-handed hitter. He's a kid that can play third. He can play second. They've got him, though, in center field. That's, they feel, his long-term future. The pitch to him, and it's a little bit high, ball one. Nick Senzel, he came in the draft 4 years ago. Now, that's the draft that the Indians got Nolan Jones and 60% of their rotation. Bieber, Savali, and Plesac. And this kid was the second pick in the entire draft. He takes, and that's a good breaking ball strike. Number one pick was a high school outfielder that went to Philly. A.J. Puck was the sixth pick in that draft. Oakland thinks he's a superstar in the making. Just can't keep that kid healthy. It's been kind of an issue with Senzel, too. Now the pitch, a swing and a miss, 1-2. Forrest Whitley went in that first round, number 17 to Houston. He looks like he's going to be a good one. The best of the bunch may be the kid with L.A. 20th pick in the first round 4 years ago by the Dodgers was a shortstop out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, Gavin Lux. Now the 1-2 pitch, and it's swung on and a broken bat fly to shallow center. And coming in to grab it is DeShields, and Winker has to stay put at second base. Gavin Lux is basically untouchable. Now, he's probably never going to play short in the big leagues, or likely a second baseman, but the Dodgers won't talk to anybody in a trade, no matter who the guy is, and include Gavin Lux.
Yeah, his name came up quite a bit in the offseason, and they just would not part with him. But what a draft, Tommy, listing the players who are in the major leagues. That's pretty impressive from one draft.
You know what's even more impressive? Bieber, Plesac, and Savali were third round, fourth round, 12th round, and they're here before all those first rounders. You never know, do you?
No.
Freddie Galvis, switch hitter, batting left-handed. He takes outside a ball.
If the Indians don't get anything else out of that draft, it's already a huge success.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Better than any draft that they may have had in the last 10 years.
And I think all of us, I shouldn't say us, what do you and I know? But here's the set and the pitch to Galvis, and he sends one high in the air to center. That's not going anywhere in this wind. Drifting toward left center. DeShields makes the catch. He'll throw toward third. Winker, who led off the inning with a double, has to stay put. 2 down, 1-0 Indians here in the second. But Rosie, we'll see. But it's hard to envision what we've seen, that Nolan Jones won't be a really good player for the Indians. And he was their first or second round pick that year?
He was not the first pick they had that year, but you look at...
Was he a supplemental?
I think so.
Check.
And just seeing him in the inter-squad games here, he looked like he belonged.
Sure did, didn't he?
Yeah, not overcome by playing in the big ballpark.
2 down, Tribe on top, 1-0. And looking at a strike is Kyle Farmer. Once again, the Reds are without Mike Moustakas. He is still out with a quad injury. The Indians drafted Nolan Jones in the second round of the 2016 draft. And, think of that. Here's the set and the pitch to Farmer, who takes down and away ball one. Think of the fact that if Nolan Jones makes it and plays like everyone envisions, to have 4 guys not in the first round be that important to the club, it's astounding. The Indians' first pick that year was Will Benson. The pitch, a swing and a foul upstairs. and the count 1-2. Tell you somebody else to keep an eye on from that draft. Minnesota grabbed Alex Kirilloff, an outfielder from the Pittsburgh area. And for the Twins, he's untouchable. And he's from that 2016 draft. They really do need another hitting outfielder.
Yeah. I think a lot of folks thought he'd be up by now, but, well, there's a couple of guys blocking him so far.
Yeah, you look at the rest of that round, and Matt Manning, 9th pick by the Tigers, sounds like he's a part of their future rotation. It's turned out to be a heck of a draft, Rosebud. The pitch, inside a ball. Kyle Lewis was the 11th pick in the draft out of Mercer, and it took a while, but he is really playing well for Seattle right now. So we're talking about a draft 4 years ago and a lot of impact players already.
Yeah, there's sometimes you pull those out from different years, and maybe there's one or two impact players at the most.
Kyle Farmer batting 182. The pitch to him, and he cuts and misses. Chased the slider down and away. Carrasco gets his 3rd strikeout, and the leadoff double, work in the cages, slices off the fastball for strike 1. Sandy was saying on the manager's show tonight, look, I'm not trying to bury Domingo, but he said, I told him, put in your work in the cages, relax a little bit. I'll give you a couple of days off, clear the head, but you'll be back in there. The pitch, a swing and a miss, ran it in on him, 0-2, but gee whiz, Rosie, I mean, the Indians still have a plethora of outfielders, and guys have to feel like if I don't start hitting pretty soon, I'm not going to get another chance. Castillo's pitch, swing and a foul back. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, they lost 2 earlier today with the roster cut down. Greg Allen and Daniel Johnson going over to Lake County. But they gained one in Delino DeShields, and I know it was 2 nights in a row with the same outfielders to try and get that group going. And now Santana gets back in there. It is tough right now to rotate all these guys in to get them going.
And Tyler Naquin's knocking on the door. Santana fouling it back, and the count stays 0-2. Naquin will be ready soon to rejoin this club, so somebody else is going to be ticketed for Lake County. It's a beautiful ballpark. It's just not where you want to be if you're a major league player right now. Again, the pitch. Down and away, didn't chase that slider to make that 1 ball, 2 strikes. Santana hitting a .158 with an RBI, and he's 0 for his last 14. Right-hander against right-hander. Castillo's pitch, and it's downstairs. Changeup, 2-2. Amazingly, the Indians have already won 3 games this year when scoring 2 runs in a game. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and away, got him. 3rd strikeout for Castillo. I mean, you sometimes see a club go half, 3/4 of a year, and maybe the whole year, and not win 3 games when scoring only 2 runs. That tells you how incredibly good the Indians' pitching has been.
And I think throughout baseball we are seeing some oddities because of how far ahead the pitchers are compared to the hitters on most clubs.
Oscar Mercado hitting 121. Right-hander against right-hander. He's in left field tonight as he cuts and misses. Sandy Alomar was saying the reason Oscar went to left, he's had reps in all of the outfield positions. Delino DeShields, right at the start of summer camp, came down with the COVID-19. The 0-1, up high, 1-1. And now that DeShields has been playing in Lake County and then brought to the Indians roster today, DeShields has had all of his action in center field, so Sandy said he didn't feel it was fair to put DeShields in left field until he's had a chance to get some reps out there before games and whatnot. The 1-1, a swing and a foul at the plate, 1-2. But in essence, what you have now are the Indians tonight with 2 center fielders, one playing left, one playing center. Tribe of the 1-0 lead. 2nd inning, 1 out, bases empty. See your Northern Ohio GMC dealers for attractive offers. GMC, we are professional grade. Mercado cuts and misses. Changeup got him. He's throwing his changeup harder now. Now he's starting to get that changeup in the 88 to 89 mile an hour range, and he has struck out the last 3 Indians, 4 in the game. Here's Bo Taylor. Left-handed hitting catchers, 0 for 8. Sandy Leon had caught 3 in a row, and Sandy Alomar said, look, we have 2 good defensive catchers, and he goes, I just can't run Sandy Leon into the ground. He's not been a guy that's been an everyday catcher in the big leagues for his career. That pitch on the outside corner. It might be a 60-game schedule, but you still have to be cognizant of keeping guys fresh. The 0-1, a swing and a miss on a change, 0-2. And what we're seeing, guys are just falling off the table, injured day after day after day. And key to winning this thing is going to stay healthy. That pitch outside, 1-2 the count. Injuries in a 60-game season are much more devastating than they are in a 6-month season. You just don't have time to recover if you're missing key guys. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Change up got him. Holy smokes. This was a different. Carlos Carrasco looked sharp in the early going, and the Indians lead the Reds 1-0. Top of the third, Tucker Barnhart has caught all 4 games in this series. He's 0 for 8 in the series. Left-handed hitting catcher who gave up switch hitting last September. Carrasco's pitch, and it's outside a ball. Dollar Bank is proud to be the official retail bank of the Indians. Dollar Bank continuing to be fully committed to customer needs since 1855. The 1-0 swung on, smashed on the ground into the shift. Second baseman Hernandez dropped to a knee, grabs it, gets up, throws him out. How long has Dollar Bank been in business? Well, back in 1855, a piggy bank was a piggy. It was always hard getting those nickels and dimes out after you shoved them in, but it always made a fun trip to Dollar Bank when you wanted to cash in. Imagine the clerk saying, so it's my job to get the coins, huh? Shogo Akiyama takes a first pitch strike.
Well, I had the lowdown on it, but forget it. on their, when they came about, but yeah, no, not now.
Here's the pitch. Inside a ball, 1-1. Well, the bank always knew when the piggy was being taken to market.
Oh, my.
Akiyama, left-handed hitter, 2 for 12 against the Indians. Now the pitch. And it just missed outside, evidently. 2 balls and a strike.
So did they coin the term bringing home the bacon?
There you go.
We're here all week, folks.
Unfortunately. Now the 2-1. Swung on, fouled, upper deck, third base side, 2-2. And as always, all 4 Reds games have started at different times. And the Indians go to Chicago, and we'll have an 8:10 start tomorrow night. Want to keep you on your toes. Carrasco's ready, and the pitch. And it's down and away, missed with a changeup. He throws that split change, full count. Boy, Indians pitching. They have been sensational here at the outset. As Carrasco, as always, works from the stretch, brings the hands up to the chin, delivers, and a check swing and a pitch in the dirt. He went around. Ball picked up by Taylor, tags out Akiyama. And Akiyama is now very glad that none of the umpires speak Japanese, so he can stay in the ball game as he goes to the first base dugout. That is strikeout number 4. 2 down for Nick Castellanos, who lined out to center. His first time up. The Indians have so far given up 28 earned runs in 13 games. Just a tad over 2 runs a game. The pitch. And it's a little inside a ball. That's the fewest amount of runs the Indians have allowed in the first 13 games of a season since the 1988 ball club. The pitch inside as Castellanos jumps back 2-0. The problem is the Indians have scored their fewest runs since the 1991 club. 91 club set the record for most losses in Indians franchise history. Now the 2-0, swing and a miss, and the count 2-1. Tribe with a 1-0 lead as we are in inning number 3. Castellanos sees the Indians in a shift with 3 on the left side of the infield. Now the pitch, swung on, fouled back, 2-2. That 1988 Indians pitching staff that started out so well featured Greg Swindell, an 18-game winner, Tom Candiotti and John Farrell. They each won 14 games in 88. Scott Bales and Rich Yett, they were both 9-game winners. Doug Jones had 37 saves. You look back now, that was a heck of a rotation. The pitch, down in the dirt, and a full count. The 91 Indians looked like they were going to be pretty good, and then Hank Peters made a number of trades that continued the Indians' rebuild, and those trades that Hank made, along with John Hart and Danny O'Dowd, set the stage for the mid-90s. Now the payoff, swing and a miss, got him to chase a slider down and away. Carrasco gets Castellanos, and that's strikeout number
6.9 FM.
Delino DeShields first at bat as an Indian, and he swings and misses at a fastball from Luis Castillo. 1-0 Indians, bottom of the third. Fully healthy now, overcoming the COVID virus. Delino DeShields, right-handed hitting center fielder. The pitch, swings and misses, 0-2. His dad is the first base coach for the Reds. Last year, when he was with Texas, he and his dad exchanged the lineup cards when the two clubs met. Now the wind and pitch. Swung on a weak roller to short, but he can hustle. Galvis will get it over, though, in plenty of time. 1 down. Let's pause for a station ID on the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Governor DeWine, the second U.S. governor to test positive for COVID-19. More coming up after the game on News Radio WTAM 1100 Cleveland.
Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Matze bringing you Tribe Baseball on a gorgeous autumn-like night. Wind blowing in, bright blue skies, 74 degrees, 1-0 Indians. Top of the order, and Cesar Hernandez taps it foul at the plate. Sandra Heater of Ravenna is trying to win the 2020 Ford Mustang convertible. It's the Liberty Ford Grand Slam giveaway, but the Indians have to hit a grand slam here in the third. The 0-1 swung on, fisted back foul, 0-2. So good luck to Sandra Heater of Ravenna. And you can try to win that Ford Mustang if you go to libertyford.com. Hernandez struck out his first time up and strikes out a second time up, this time looking. And that's 6 strikeouts now for Luis Castillo. Jose Ramirez, the difference in this game, a solo homer, 416 feet to the seats and right in the first on a 3-2 fastball. He took the 97-mile-an-hour heater and absolutely torched it. 1-0 Indians, 2 down in the third. The pitch, and he looks at a slider inside, ball 1. Third home run of the year for Ramirez. The Indians are still batting just 181 as a team, averaging 2.5 runs a game. Off speed is in there, a strike. 1-1. Shift employed, 3 on the right side of the infield. Outfield straight up. Castillo delivering, and a changeup outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Shadows now are covering the hitter, the pitcher. There is some sunshine from behind the bag at second into medium deep center. Then shadows the rest of the way to the wall and beyond. The pitch, that's a changeup strike. Man, he can He can triple. He can throw that changeup 4 times in a row. It's that good. He throws it at any point in the count, too. Then he's got upper 90s in the fastball. Now the 2-2. Swung on a ground ball to the second baseman. Charged by Farmer. Gloves throws, and Castillo has settled in after struggling with his command in the first.
Indians leading 1-0 as we reach the 4th inning here at Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton joining you for all the action tonight. Joey Votto to lead things off for Cincinnati, facing Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco has struck out 5, allowed just 1 hit, and walked 1. The right-hander works from the stretch at all times. Here's his pitch, and Votto takes it inside for ball 1. Votto walked his first time up. Still only 1 strikeout since the season began. And that is typical Joey Votto. Here's the 1-0. Low and in. 2-0. Now, last year, Votto struck out 123 times, and he was saying the other night that just doesn't fly with him. He thought that was too many. So he's really made a more concerted effort to put the ball in play, make contact, see what happens, while continuing to walk a bunch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Indians put the shift on for Votto with 3 on that right side, including Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman, playing out there in shallow right field. Lindor, the shortstop, on the first base side of second. Here's Carrasco's 3-0. Swung on, line drive to right there. The right fielder, Santana, makes the catch. Votto on 3-0, got a good pitch to hit a line drive, but right at the right fielder. 1 down. That'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. Don't forget, if the Indians turn a double play here in the 4th inning, use the Chick-fil-A app, and you'll get a free breakfast variety entree from participating Cleveland, Akron, Canton, and Sandusky Chick-fil-A locations. And remember, breakfast is available until 10:30 each morning. Here's Suarez, struck out his first time up. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, down low, ball 1. Suarez off to this really slow start. And you wonder, he had shoulder surgery, but not till January of the offseason. And you wonder if that's held him back a little bit. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, fouled off at home plate. Had some loose cartilage in his right shoulder that he needed repaired, and they did that at the end of January. So not that far from the start of the regular spring training out in Goodyear, just a couple of weeks out. Right-handed hitter, tremendous power. Here's Carrasco's pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base, backhand stop Ramirez. Long throw, good scoop by Santana, in time for the out at first. Nice play on both ends. Ramirez almost stepping on the foul line at the cut of the outfield grass. So that was a long throw. And it dipped at the last moment, but Santana made that nice scoop on the short hop. 2 up, 2 down, 1-0 drive, and here comes Jesse Winker. Anytime the Indians score 5 runs in a game, you can pick up a free small curly fry the next day at your nearest Arby's restaurant. All you need to do is mention this promotion at participating Cleveland Arby's locations. Winker takes a ball down low from Carlos Carrasco. Drive up 1-0 on the Ramirez home run back in the first inning. Each team with just 1 hit. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. It's been the story of the series. Each team in this series, 13 hits, and this is the 4th game. So base hits hard to come by. Runs are precious. We've seen tight, tense ball games, each of the 3 so far, and this one shaping up just the same. Kind of a shame the season series is over after tonight's game. Been good ball games between these 2 clubs. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Indians have maintained their hold on the Ohio Cup by the win last night, ensuring a split of the series. So they held the cup and The Reds cannot wrestle it away no matter what happens tonight. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and outside. 2-2 the count on Winker. He has the Reds hit a double in the second inning. Left-handed batter who's trying to adjust to being a designated hitter. Universal DH now. No pitchers hitting in the National League this season, and we'll see if that comes back next year. Now the 2-2. Swung on. Ground ball into the shift right there. Hernandez in shallow right. Throws on to first in time for the out, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down.
100.
Francisco Lindor leads things off. Bottom half of the fourth inning, takes a fastball, strike one from Luis Castillo. Indians got him for a run in the first. He has been nasty since. Here's the 0-1. Low and in, 1-1. 6 strikeouts through 3 innings. Getting ahead of the hitters. Tremendous changeup going. The 1-1. Off speed, low and outside. And you mix in that changeup that's 87, 88 miles an hour with a 97 mile an hour fastball, and that's a tough at-bat for anybody. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. 2-2 the count on Lindor, who bounced to second his first time up. Lindor with 3 home runs, 8 driven in. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, ripped to first. Backhand stop by Votto. Flips to the bag in time. Castillo's there for the out. Nice play by Joey Votto, a former Gold Glove winner and the only Cincinnati Reds first baseman to win a Gold Glove. Dominion Energy would like to remind you, whether you're an individual or contractor, state law requires that you call 811 before you dig. Have those underground utilities marked. It's simple and free. Just dial 811. Here's Carlos Santana. Still trying to get it going here this season. He walked his first time up. Always a good sign for him. And he is walking more than striking out. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Just can't quite get the average going yet. And a 1 for 20 skid coming in. Switch hitter left side. The right-hander Castillo with the 1-0. Slider on the inside corner for a strike. Right at the knees. Reds put the shift on for Santana with 3 on that right side, and it's Farmer, the second baseman, who is out there in shallow right. Now the 1-1. Low and outside for a ball, 2-1. Still plenty of sunshine and a good portion of the outfield here. The infield just about covered with the shadows. Here's the 2-1. Fastball just missed outside, ball 3. We had 74 degrees at game time. A pretty good breeze blowing in from right center. But not a cloud in the sky. Still blue skies overhead. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, popped up, foul down the line, left side, and out of play. 3-2 the count on Santana. Franmil Reyes waits on deck for the Indians. Facing Luis Castillo, the 27-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Young man who last year at the age of 26 had quite the season for the Reds. Here's the 3-2. Down low, ball 4. Santana draws the walk. The second allowed. Castillo, both times it's been Carlos Santana. Everstream is the business-only fiber network. If your business demands a high bandwidth, low latency network, it's time to forget the big telecom status quo. Everstream. Faster fiber, better business. Everstream.net. Here's Franmil Reyes, a strikeout his first time up. Big right-handed hitter. Coming off a fine season a year ago with 37 home runs in his time with San Diego and then the Indians the last 2 months of the season. Here's the pitch to him. Swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. A little late on a 97 mile an hour sinking fastball. Tough to catch up to this guy. Castillo at 6'2", about 200 pounds. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ground ball right side, and with the shift on, that'll sneak on through into right field, a base hit. The Reds put 3 almost on that left side of the infield. The biggest key, Farmer, the second baseman, was just about at the second base bag. He had no chance, and Reyes will take the base hit. Moving up to second is Santana. And now the Indians have a couple of men aboard for Domingo Santana. Santana struck out his first time up. Chance to do some damage here, trying to work his way out of an 0-for-15 skid. But all it takes is that one big blow, and boy, it would really change the complexion of this game. 1-0, Tribe in front. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a chopper foul outside of third. Right near third base coach Tony Manzolino. Indians changing up their coaching staff in the absence of Terry Francona. In case you missed it earlier, Tom mentioning that Tito will not go to Chicago this weekend. Then the Indians have an off day on Monday, and they're back home on Tuesday. So hopefully, if things progress well, Terry Francona will be back in the dugout then. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball just missed inside. 1-1. So in the meantime, with Sandy Alomar as the acting manager, they brought Mike Sarbaugh in from third base as the third base coach to be Sandy's bench coach. And Tony Manzolino, who's the Indians' coordinator of minor league infield instruction, he takes over at third base. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good changeup. Manzolino was the Columbus manager a year ago. Really good minor league manager. And as a minor league manager, most coached third base. So a lot of experience there. And we saw him last night. You know, one time Mercado just ran right by him and ended up scoring a run. Big run, the second. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Boy, good changeup again from Luis Castillo. His 7th strikeout as Santana goes down on strikes. Tribe Baseball brought to you by the Blaster Corporation, based right here in Cleveland and makers of PB Blaster. #1 for loosening up rusted parts. Whatever the job, always use Blaster products and work it like a pro. Here's Oscar Mercado. Struck out his first time up. Earlier in that inning last night when the Indians scored twice, Cesar Hernandez with a base hit to left, and Manzolino sent the base runner in a close play at the plate, but it paid off as the Indians scored the game's first run. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the inside corner. So a nice opportunity here for a couple of days for Manzolino to coach third. He had been over at the Lake County ballpark with the Indians' alternate site players, going through their paces on a daily basis. 1-0, Tribe in front with a run on 2 hits. No runs, just 1 hit for the Reds as we play in the bottom half of the 4th inning on a gorgeous night downtown. Here's the 0-1. On the outside corner for a strike. Good slider that time from Luis Castillo. What a trade by the Reds back in January of 2017. The Marlins wanted a veteran pitcher, and they asked the Reds for Dan Straley. Part of the package coming back was this guy, Castillo, and he has not disappointed. Here's the 0-2. Down low, 1-2. Now at the time, he had not made his major league debut yet, but in the 3 years since with Cincinnati, he's 28-27 heading into this year, but the ERA 3.68 and more than a strikeout per inning in his major league career. Here comes the 1-2. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Boy, Mercado is upset, but he's caught looking. Side retired. And will lead things off facing Carlos Carrasco. And the Tribe right-hander working on a 1-hit shutout. He's needed to be good here so far as the Indians lead it by that 1 run. Here's the pitch. Senzel swings and misses for strike 1. Senzel flied to center his first time up. Good young right-handed hitter. Indians play him straight up on that infield, although Ramirez even with the bag at third. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, strike 2 call. 0-2 the count on Senzel. Breeze still blowing in, fairly strong from right center. Oh, and 2 the count on Senzel. Here's Carrasco's pitch. Waved at and missed, strike 3, and Carrasco has struck out his 6th to open the top half of the 5th inning. 1 down. That'll bring up Freddie Galvis. For a limited time, McDonald's is selling large drink koozies for just $5, with the proceeds benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities right here in Northeast Ohio. So stop in at any local McDonald's soon. Galvis fly to center his first time up. Long time with the Phillies and last year Blue Jays. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. And that was before the Reds acquired him in mid-August. 1-0 the count on the shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count on Galvis. Carrasco done a pretty good job keeping that pitch count in order. He's at 64 pitches to this point, with 1 down in the 5th. Shift is on for Galvis, 3 on the right side. The pitch to him. Fastball high and outside for ball 2. Carlos Carrasco facing the Reds for the 7th time in his career, his 6th starting assignment. He's 3-0 against Cincinnati. Here's the 3-1. Breaking ball down low. Now it's 3-1. That was a 2-1 pitch. Just 1 base hit for the Reds. That 2nd inning double by Jesse Winker. The 3-1. Low and inside, ball 4. Galvis draws a 1-out walk here in the 5th inning. Time for our Cleveland Clinic caregiver shout out, and the good folks at the clinic want to remind you they've implemented increased safety measures at all of their locations and provide additional ways to get care like virtual visits. Patient safety remains a top priority. Visit clevelandclinic.org/access. Here's Kyle Farmer. Carrasco goes to first, chasing Galvis back safely. That walk, by the way, by Carrasco, his 2nd on the night. Farmer struck out his first time up. Right-handed hitting 2nd baseman. Long set. Now the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. Count is 0-1 on Kyle Farmer. Now Carlos Carrasco, last year's American League Comeback Player of the Year, and a remarkable comeback it was. After starting the season in the rotation. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Bo Taylor. 1-1 the count. And Carrasco revealing in early June that he was battling leukemia. Underwent treatments. Had been doing that prior to announcing it, and came back in early September on an emotional day in St. Petersburg against the Rays. The 1-1. Swung on. There's a high fly ball to right. Back on it is Santana. He's there, and he makes the catch. 2 down in the inning as Galvis retreats to first base. And the number 9 hitter, Tucker Barnhart, will step in. Carrasco working out of the pen the final month of the year, and he said when summer camp began, there was no talk of an opt-out for him, even with the health risks because of his condition from a summer ago, and how important it was for him to get back into that starting rotation. He's a starting pitcher, and he wanted to be one again, and he has been superb so far this season. This is 3rd start. Here's his pitch to Barnhart. Swung on, tapped to the 3rd baseman. Ramirez is up with it, flips on to first in time for the out, and the side is retired. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Tribe leading it 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning here at Progressive Field. And we want to welcome our season ticket holder of the game. It is Claire Bixler of Orville, 34 years a Tribe season ticket holder. Claire's favorite memory, the 1948 World Series. Satchel Paige coming in as a relief pitcher. And Claire can still name 25 players on the roster from that year. A memorable team. The last World Series championship for the Tribe, 1948. Leading things off for the Indians, it is Bo Taylor, their catcher. And he takes a pitch low and away for ball one from Luis Castillo. A first inning home run from Jose Ramirez is the difference. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count on Taylor. He struck out his first time up. One of 8 strikeouts for Castillo through 4 innings. Here's his 1-1. Down low, and the count moves to 2-1. He was up over the 200 strikeout mark a year ago. Here's his next pitch. On the outside corner for a strike to even the count. 2-2 on Bo Taylor. Now the pitch from Castillo. Swung on. Bounced to the second baseman. Up with it. Farmer. Flips over to first just in time to retire Taylor. 1 down. Time for our Cleveland Indians memorable moment, brought to you by the J.M. Smucker Company. Headquartered in Northeast Ohio, Smucker's makes food that people and pets love. And we take you back to this date, August the 6th, 2007, the AL Central Division champion team. Paul Byrd threw a 4-hit shutout as the Indians bested the Twins 4-0 at the old Metrodome. Here's Delino DeShields, shows bunt, bunts it foul for strike 1. Byrd won 15 games that season. And how about this? The Indians drafted him back in 1991. 4th round out of LSU. Didn't pitch for the Tribe in the major leagues until he was 35. As he bounced around a little bit and came back to the Indians and was a part of that rotation back in 07. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on DeShields. Tribe up 1-0. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Castillo and Carrasco pitching beauties. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. DeShields down on strikes. That's 9 now for Castillo. 2 down in the inning. Dollar Bank, proud to be the official retail bank of the Indians. Dollar Bank continues to be fully committed to customer needs and has been since 1855. Now the pitch to the leadoff hitter in the lineup, Cesar Hernandez, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Batting now with 2 down, bases empty in the 5th inning. Castillo with the 0-1 to Hernandez. Swung on, foul back, 0-2 on our Elk and Elk injury report. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Looks like Roberto Perez getting closer, sore shoulder, and starting to throw again. Tyler Naquin getting close. The 0-2, swung on, lashed foul off to the third base side, out of play. Good to have Delino DeShields back. On the other side, Mike Moustakas still out with that bruised left quad. He's missed the last 3. Now the 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. Didn't miss by much with that hard slider. Hard to hang in there on that pitch. Bearing in on the hitter. In this case, a left-handed batter, Hernandez. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. Down low, went with the changeup. 2-2 on Hernandez. A run on 2 hits for the Tribe. No runs, 1 hit for the Reds. Now the 2-2 from Castillo. Fastball missed outside. 3-2 the count on Hernandez, who continues to see a lot of pitches. He's reached base safely, reached base by a hit or a walk. in each of the 12 games he's played so far. The 3-2. Outside ball 4, and you can make it 13 games reaching base now for Hernandez as he draws the 2-out walk here in the 5th. Jose Ramirez will step in. His home run back in the 1st inning. The difference in this one. Visit your local Ohio Kubota dealer today, and you can test drive the Kubota L2501 compact tractor. You'll see why it's the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. 10 years running. Visit GoKubota.com. Ramirez, switch hitter, left side. Shift on for him, 3 on the right side. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count on Jose Ramirez. That home run is 3rd on the season. Now 8 driven in. The pitch to him. Outside and high. 1-1 the count. Indians trying to make it 3 in a row in the win column after they dropped the series opener down in Cincinnati on Monday night. Castillo throws to first. Back safely is Hernandez. Jose Ramirez coming off of that roller coaster season a year ago. The slow start, then as hot as we've ever seen him, and then the broken hamate bone cost him time. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. And then came back with that memorable game. First game back from the hamate problem and hit a pair of home runs, including a grand slam in Chicago. 1-2 the count on it. See what Castillo comes back with here. He's been tough. The right-hander sets. Here's his pitch. Swung on, line drive down the right field line. Fair ball. This one's headed toward the corner. On the run is Hernandez. He's flying to third, being waved around. The relay throw will not come home. Into third goes Ramirez. Scoring is Hernandez. And Jose Ramirez with the big night makes it 2-0 Tribe. Well, a good bounce for the Tribe in the corner as that ball went down the right field line fair, but it never made it into the corner. It hit the sidewall and kicked out, and Nick Castellanos had a tough time picking it up. So that took away any chance at a relay throw home to try and get Hernandez. And he was able to score easily as Ramirez rambled into third base with his first triple on the season. So a precious insurance run in this one. We're in the 5th, 2-0 Tribe, and now Francisco Lindor at the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Yeah, Jose Ramirez came in 1 for his last 19. You can wipe that one away. He's having a big ball game tonight with a home run and the triple. Now the 1-0 to Lindor. Fastball, strike called on the outside corner. 1-1 the count on the Tribe shortstop, who's 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs so far as he tries to solve this tough righty, Luis Castillo. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, line drive, base hit into right field, and that'll plate another one. Ramirez scores on the RBI single by Lindor, and the Tribe now leads it 3-0. Boy, now things loosening up a little bit for that Tribe offense. Some 2-out clutch hitting here for the Indians. Ramirez and Lindor back-to-back RBI base hits, and all of a sudden it's a 3-0 lead for the Tribe. Lindor with his 9th run driven in on the season. And a great sign there. Able to get a good pitch to hit with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Now Carlos Santana. Another piece to the puzzle that the Tribe's trying to get going. Throw to first, Lindor back safely. And so far tonight, good signs for Santana. A pair of walks, and that's always a big part of his game. You hate to see him get away from that, and that's been there here in the early season. Not necessarily the base hits or the power yet. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. But if he's seeing it well enough to draw his walks, usually the good stuff follows in short order, and we'll see if that happens here with Santana. 2 runs in. Runner at first with 2 down. Castillo at the belt delivers. Fastball in there for a strike. There is action in the Reds bullpen as Castillo just threw his 100th pitch. So he's not long for this ball game. He's trying to make it through 5. As a right-hander's heating it up out in the Cincinnati bullpen. Here's the 1-1. Down low. 1-1.
87.
Jose De Leon is starting to warm up for the Reds. Just over from their alternate site, filling a roster spot today. They made several moves, did the Reds, to get down to 28 as required by Major League Baseball. Here's the 2-1. Fastball up. 3-1 the count on Carlos Santana. Lindor at first, good speed. Tucker Barnhart, good throwing catcher. 1 for 2 throwing out base stealers this season. Now the set, the 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and for the 3rd time tonight, Santana has drawn a walk. And on the night, that's the 4th walk allowed by Castillo. And it looks like Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, is on his way to the mound to have a chat with Luis Castillo, who the Indians have broken through against here in the 5th inning. Indians baseball is brought to you in part by Wayside Furniture. And while fans can't make it to games this season, the good folks at Wayside want to get you a head start on 2021. You can enter to win 4 VIP tickets to the 2021 Indians home opener by entering Wayside Furniture's Best Seats in the House contest. Do it online at wayside-furniture.com. Better furniture priced lower. Wayside Furniture. Franmil Reyes will step in. Reyes, one big fly away from breaking this one wide open. Lindor at second, Santana on at first. Reyes 1 for 2 with an opposite field single his last time up last inning. Tribe up 3-0 in the 5th. Castillo delivers outside with a slider. 1-0 the count on Reyes. A mountain of a man. Stands in from that right side. Here comes the 1-0 from Castillo. A check swing liner to the first base side. One hop knocked down by Votto, and he'll take it to the bag himself in time to retire Reyes and the Indians in the 5th. But the Tribe scores twice, and they'll take a 3-0 lead into this.
Tribe with a 3-0 lead after 5 innings. Carlos Carrasco to face the top of the order in the top of the 6th. The right-hander delivering, and Shogo Akiyama takes a called strike. The 6th inning brought to you by Great Lakes Brewing Company, the official craft beer of the Cleveland Indians. Crack open a crisp and smooth Dortmunder Gold Lager brewed for your hometown team. The next pitch is waved at, elevated a fastball, 0-2. Hi again, everybody. Tom Hamilton back with you. Along with Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Motze. Gorgeous 74-degree night off the lakefront. Tribe 3, Reds 0. Akiyama takes strike 3 on the outside corner. He has struck out all 3 times tonight. And Carrasco has struck out 7 and looks to be in great shape. Leading it not only 3-0, but throwing a 1-hit shutout. The only hit of Jesse Winker, leadoff double in the 2nd. Carrasco has struck out 7 and walked 2. Here's Nick Castellanos, has lined out to center and struck out. The pitch, and he fouls it upstairs, strike 1. Luis Castillo gave up a solo homer to right field to Jose Ramirez in the 1st, and then in the 5th inning he got 2 quick outs. Then he walked Cesar Hernandez Jose Ramirez, an RBI triple. Frankie Lindor, an RBI single. The pitch, and it's in there, strike two. That's your game summary, brought to you by Ford, America's best-selling brand. So the Indians, 3 runs, 4 hits. The Redlegs, no runs, 1 hit. Final meeting of the year between these two clubs. Indians have 3 on the left side of the infield. Now the 0-2. And it's swung on, banged on the ground to third. Dug out by Ramirez. Bounces the throw to first. Castellanos almost beat it out. Bang, bang. Castellanos looked at Ed Hickox, the first base ump, thinking he beat it out. Great hustle by Castellanos. And Ramirez just kind of took his time over there making the throw, and he purposely threw a one-hopper to Santana at first. Not sure why, but it'll stand as an out. 2 down, and now Joey Votto has walked and lined out to right. Now 3 infielders go between first and second. Breeze not as strong as it was at the game's outset, but still blowing in from right. And the pitch is in there, a called strike on a slider. Right now, Carlos Carrasco, his first 3 starts, this looks like vintage Carlos Carrasco when he won 17 games 2 years ago. Pitch up and away, 1-1. 3 years ago, he was 4th in the Cy Young voting when he went 18-6. It was only last year that he had a rough season, but there was a reason. 3-month battle with leukemia. But boy, he looks good, and he's healthy and throwing really well. The pitch, a swing and a miss, down and in on the slider, and a 1-2 count on Joey Votto. And here we go again. The Indians getting another quality, and not only quality, but dominant start. Indians shut the Reds out last night. Now the pitch, and a check swing. The Indians leave the field, and it's not a strike, and he didn't go around. And everybody on the Indians infield and Carlos Carrasco have to go back to their positions. The Reds have not scored now since the 4th inning on Tuesday night. The pitch swung on, fouled off through the first base coaching box. Indians won that game 4-2 as the Reds didn't score the last 5 innings on Tuesday night, then shut out last night. They're closing in on 20 innings without scoring a run against this incredible Indians pitching staff. 3-0 Tribe in the 6th. Now the 2-2. High and wide, full count. The Indians have already thrown 3 shutouts in their first 13 games. That's the most the Indians have done out of the gate since the 1981 club. Now the payoff. High, and he walked him. So Carrasco loses Votto. 3rd walk. Twice Votto's drawn a walk. And Eugenio Suarez with a strikeout and a ground out coming to the plate. The Indians have allowed 4 or fewer runs in their first 13 games. And here in game 14, the Indians are leading this ball game 3-0. This is already the best the Indians have ever done to start a season as far as holding a club to 4 runs or fewer. The pitch down and away, ball 1. 1947, the Indians that year, first 12 games, held the opposition to 4 runs or fewer. Now the 1-0. In the dirt, kicks to the backstop. Taylor doesn't know where it is. To second is Votto, and now the ball goes out of play, and the wild pitch puts Votto in scoring position with 2 down in the 6th. And the Indians on top by a score of 3-0. And ever since Carrasco didn't get that called 3rd strike, which looked like a strikeout, He may have lost his focus here a little bit, and so pitching coach Carl Willis, who does such a great job with this Indians pitching staff, is out to talk to Carrasco. He's not really including Bo Taylor. This is kind of a one-way conversation. Just, hey, gather yourself. Let's get the final out. Get out of here. Votto is the runner at second base. 2 down in the Reds, 6th. Indians 3, Cincinnati nothing. Big weekend series coming up with the White Sox, and then the Cubs in town for 2 games next week. And nobody's playing any better than the Cubs. They've won 10 of their first 12 games. The pitch. A swing and a foul back. 2-1 the count. The Indians will see Dylan Cease, who they rocked when they saw him the first time. Aaron Savali goes for the Tribe against Cease tomorrow night. Zach Plesac Saturday afternoon. And then Shane Bieber against Lucas Giolito Sunday afternoon. What a matchup that should be. Now the 2-1. And it's in there, a breaking ball. 2-2. White Sox have not named a starter for Saturday. Of course, they've lost Carlos Rodon with a shoulder injury. Indians with 3 on the left side of the infield. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul to the upper deck, first base side. Will do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Astros have lost a pitcher, Kent Emanuel. He's been suspended for 80 games for PEDs. Astros having a lot of pitching issues. Now the 2-2. And it just missed low, full count. Clubs had to get down to 28-man roster today, and that's it. They're not going to reduce anymore. 28 players the rest of the year. You get an extra player when you have a doubleheader. Now the 3-2 pitch. Bounced it in there, and it goes to the backstop. Another wild pitch. So Votto goes to third on the wild pitch. Suarez to first on the back-to-back walks.
Wild pitch.
And now Jesse Winker. A double and a ground out. Carrasco has suddenly walked 2 after getting 2 quick outs. And Winker is a threat as he'll come to the plate, although he's really struggling this year. He doubled tonight, but he came in here batting 143. Indians get stirring in their bullpen. Cam Hill, the right-hander, will begin to warm for the Indians. Reds at the corners. The pitch, and it's swung on, fouled back. 0-1 the count. So a couple of walks and a couple of wild pitches here for Carrasco in the 6th, and suddenly he is about to make his 93rd pitch of the evening. 3-0 Indians, 6th inning. Reds with a 2-out threat. Now the 0-1. And it's off speed and low, 1-1. Reds have De Leon and Strop warming in their pen, so Castillo only gives the Reds 5 innings tonight. Problem for Castillo, he was at 105 pitches. The pitch. And it's in there, a called strike. And now arguing is Winker. He's not convinced that Jerry Meals has the kind of vision he appreciates. 1-2 the count. All of this after 2 quick outs and after the Indians thought they had Votto struck out. Carrasco checks third, the pitch. Swung on, a dribbler foul, first base side. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Cleveland Clinic Indians Radio Network.
Governor DeWine, the second U.S. governor to test positive for COVID-19. More coming up after the game on News Radio WTAM 1100 Cleveland.
Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Matze. Tribe 3, Reds nothing. Reds at the corners, 2 down in the 6th. The 1-2 offering, and it's down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right now, Carrasco having a tough time throwing that slider for strikes. It's been a good one tonight. Carrasco has thrown that slider 39 times more than any other pitch. And now, Bo Taylor has an issue with his catcher's mitt. That's the last thing a catcher wants, is to have to get a different mitt. He's going up the runway. Carrasco tonight has thrown his slider 39 times, his fastball 30 times. He has thrown 20 changeups. Haven't seen the curveball all night. Bo Taylor has a new mitt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reds at first and third. Indians leading 3-0 in the 6th. Overloaded right side of the infield for the left-handed hitting Winker. And the pitch. Checked on a pitch, didn't matter. Strike 3 called. Winker's really unhappy. Reds screaming from their dugout. David Bell is going to come out. He may get thrown out by Jerry.
WTAM 1100 and 106.9 FM.
Well, David Bell and the Reds haven't been real happy with home plate ump Jerry Meals, who rang up Jesse Winker on a pitch that on the replay certainly looked low. And David Bell didn't get to within 20 yards of Jerry Meals, and he booted him. I don't know how Jesse Winker didn't snap. I don't know if he got thrown too, but David Bell certainly did. And Jesse Winker had a pretty good argument. Well, the Reds will go to their bullpen now after Luis Castillo gave them just 5 innings. Here's the wind and first pitch, and it's in there, a called strike. Jose De Leon just brought up to the club today. He's a right-hander facing Domingo Santana, who has struck out twice. De Leon's pitch, fastball strike. My goodness, do the Reds have anyone that doesn't throw mid-90s or better? And De Leon, that's 95 miles an hour. Jose De Leon, 27 years of age, 6'2", 215. The pitch, and it's swung on and missed, and Santana's just having a miserable 2020 campaign. He's hitless in his last 17 at-bats. He has struck out all 3 times tonight. And here's Oscar Mercado. He has struck out twice. Now, while Luis Castillo wasn't maybe as good as he normally is, which the standard is so high for him, you still him and you marvel that anybody ever gets a hit off of him. Mercado takes the mid-90s heater.
9th career ejection as a manager.
Luis Castillo
of 2020.
Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. He had some command issues. Mercado waves at it, 0-2. But Castillo still struck out 9 in 5 innings. Struck out 9, walked 4. That's what got him in trouble. The Indians were able to get a solo homer from Jose Ramirez to right field in the first. Now the 0-2. Checked on a pitch in. Changeup, 1-2. And then in the 5th, 2 outs, nobody on, a walk, an RBI triple by Ramirez, an RBI single by Lindor, and that's where we're at. 3-0 Indians, 6th inning, and the pitch waved at, and De Leon is just blowing people away. So 11 strikeouts by Reds pitching tonight. And with 2 down and the bases empty in the 6th, the batter will be Bo Taylor, who has struck out and grounded out. So for the 9th time in his young managerial career, David Bell has been ejected. That pitch waved at a strike. I'll tell you what, you won't meet a nicer young man in any walk of life than David Bell. And, of course, great parents, Buddy Bell and Gloria. That pitch inside, 1-1. They've raised a tremendous family. The one, and there are many, similarities. I'm not saying there's only one. The 1-1, down low 2-1. But one thing that David has in common with his dad, Buddy, I mean, they're two of the nicest, most laid-back guys, but oh boy, when that fuse goes, the 2-1 pitch, a swing and a weak ground ball to short. Galvis will gobble it up, and he'll throw Taylor out. It doesn't happen very often. Listen to the game. Enjoy the great taste of Montgomery Inn, the official barbecue of the Cleveland Indians. Available at your local grocer and at MontgomeryInn.com. Montgomery Inn, the Ribs King. Montgomery Inn, based out of Cincinnati, doesn't get any better than Montgomery Inn. Nick Senzel will lead off the Reds' seventh. Cam Hill out of the Indians' pen. The rookie right-hander with a curveball strike. Cam Hill, fastball, curve, slider, changeup. Carlos Carrasco, 6 shutout innings of one-hit baseball. Struck out 8, walked 4, made 97 pitches. The next pitch swung on a weak pop to first, foul ground near the Reds' dugout, and off the glove of Santana, who flips over that photo bay railing and caught himself before he tumbled in. He had it, but it popped out because he was about to flip himself onto that concrete down below. Good effort by Carlos Santana. Another good effort by Carlos Carrasco. My goodness, Carlos now has made 3 starts for the Indians this year and has given up 5 earned runs. He's back, folks. Senzel's flied out to center and struck out. The pitch, and a breaking ball is up, 1-2. 6 inning totals. Cleveland, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 5 left. Cincinnati, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 5 men stranded. Now the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip hung on to by catcher Bo Taylor. Indians pitchers have struck out 9. That's number 1 for Cam Hill, who this year in his rookie campaign has worked in 4 previous games, 4 shutout and hitless innings in relief, 4 strikeouts and no walks. Who spent his first year in junior college baseball primarily playing shortstop. Freddie Galvis, switch hitter, batting left-handed, shows bunt, takes the strike. Jose Ramirez is playing a normal third, off the line but in on the grass to take away that bunt. The rest of the infield on the right side. Now the set and the 0-1. A swing and a foul back, 0-2. Well, I know this is the way the game is going to continue to be played, so it doesn't matter what I think. But with everybody shifting, overloading the infield, it seems like on every hitter, my goodness, you just don't see great plays made anymore by your middle infielders. Now the 0-2 swung on, grounded on the first base side, knocked down by Santana. Underhand flip to Hill, 2 down. The days of Ozzie Smith and Omar Vizquel, Robbie Alomar. You just think of some of the greatest infielders in the history of the game. Whether they were at second or short, they don't make those spectacular plays anymore because they don't have the range. I shouldn't say they don't have the range. They don't have the ground to cover anymore when you have a shift. And it just takes away some of those great plays that would thrill a baseball crowd. Kyle Farmer takes a strike. It's all part of analytics, and obviously it works. Look how many base hits are taken away because of the shifts, but miss seeing those spectacular highlight reel plays. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a foul tip, 0-2. David Bell played a heck of a second base for the Indians when they were back in their heyday, and then he went to Seattle and played extremely well on those good Mariners teams because he could play at third. Missed that part of the game. 3-0 Reds, 7th. The pitch, swing and a miss. We sure see a lot of that, don't we? 10 strikeouts by Indians pitching as Kyle Farmer. DeShields in his first game as an Indian, 0 for 2. 3-0 Tribe, bottom of the 7th. Slider outside from Jose De Leon, his second inning of work. DeShields has grounded out, struck out. Righty-righty matchup, the wind and pitch, and it's high and wide, and it's ball 2-2-0. Indians pitching has now shut the Reds out for 21 consecutive innings. The pitch. Swing and a little weak pop into shallow right, near the line, dropping quickly, foul before Castellanos can get there. 2 balls and a strike. And this is a really good Reds lineup. Now, they are missing Mike Moustakas, and that hurts, no question. But this is still a really good Reds ball club. And to hold them without a run for 21 consecutive innings is really impressive. But you're just getting to a point now where you're out of adjectives to describe how good Cleveland's pitching is to this point in the season. DeShields steps back in, the pitch to him, and he lines one to deep right, but it'll slice foul. And the count 2-2. To get your best deal on any new or used car, go to Sunnyside Chevy in Elyria, or check out all of their inventory. Their current specials are online at SunnysideChevy.com. DeShields, former first-round pick by Houston, the pitch. And he drives one again to right, this time base hit on one knee to knock it down after the bounce was Castellanos. He got lucky. Castellanos kind of got caught in between. Do I charge, try to make a diving catch? And he couldn't get there, had to go to a knee, and he's fortunate that ball didn't bounce by him and go to the wall. If it does, DeShields is still running. So DeShields has his first hit as an Indian, and the Indians have their 5th hit in the game. Top of the order, and Cesar Hernandez, switch hitter batting left-handed. 2 strikeouts and a walk. Boy, the DeShields family, you talk about athletic. Of course, his dad, Delino DeShields, who's the Reds' first base coach, his pops played 13 years in the majors. Hernandez cues one foul third base side. His dad was also a first-round pick. How about that? Father, son, both first-round picks. Delino's sister, Diamond, was a college star in hoops at North Carolina, then Tennessee, and then was an all-star in the WNBA with Chicago. Delino's mom, Tisha, was an All-American heptathlete at Tennessee. Now the 0-1. A swing and a liner to right field, base hit near the line, over to cut it off Castellanos. It'll be first to third for DeShields, and at first with a single is Hernandez. And the Indians have a chance to blow it open. Runners at the corners, nobody out in the 7th. Jose Ramirez is the batter. He'll swing it left-handed, and he's been swinging it tonight. Solo homer to right, RBI triple to right. 2 for 3, and now he bats with Indians at the corners. Nobody out in the 7th, and the Indians trying to blow it open, leading 3-0. Boy, and this is a night as the Reds are going to bring the infield in. No shift. They'll keep 2 on each side of second, but they'll play in for the play at the plate. The pitch, and it's in there, a strike. As good as the Indians' bullpen has been, the Reds realize they can't afford to fall any further back. But this is a night where the Indians could use a big lead late. James Karinchak and Brad Hand have both pitched in back-to-back games. Now the 0-1 pitch. A swing and a foul upstairs, and the count 0-2. Jose De Leon is another graduate of the Tommy John Reconstructive Elbow Surgery University. He had his Tommy John in March of 2018, so he was out all of that year. And then pitched last year and got to the bigs with Tampa. The pitch hit on the ground to first. Votto's up with it. He'll come home with a throw. And now in a rundown between home and third is DeShields. He'll be tagged out by the catcher, Barnhart, but a great job by DeShields. Stayed in the rundown long enough that it enabled Hernandez to get to third and Ramirez to get to second. So that's just smart base running by Delino DeShields. With the infield in, he broke home for the plate. And if you're saying, well, why didn't he stay put? Well, if he stays put, then Joey Votto turns a double play. So you break in on that like DeShields did. Then when the throw came to the plate, DeShields put the brakes on and stayed in the rundown long enough that basically the Indians are in a better spot now. Runners at second and third. And now there is one out, and Frankie Lindor batting left-handed with the infield drawn in. So just smart baseball there by Delino DeShields. Those are the little things that can win you a ball game. De Leon's ready, and the pitch. And it's inside, a fastball missing. Boy, it'd be big to see Frankie Lindor get a big-time hit here and blow it open. He did have a 2-out RBI single in the fifth, and now they'll intentionally walk Lindor and set up a double play possibility for Carlos Santana. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Santana's walked 3 times tonight. And again, he, like a Joey Votto, a dinosaur in this day and age, they walk more than they strike out. Here's Santana batting $171, but he now leads the league in walks with 14. And now infield back double play depth and a shift on the right side of the infield. The pitch. A swing and a miss. So he tried to hit the grand slam. All the Indians need here is a single. And that's what Santana has gotten away from. He's gotten long with a swing and pull happy this year, whereas last year he just stayed from gap to gap all year long. Now the 0-1. Swung on, foul to the upper deck, 0-2. Carlos Santana is certainly comfortable in these situations. He's had 4 career grand slams. But again, you don't need the grand slam. It'd be terrific. What you need here is you just got to at least get a ball in the air and get 1 run in. 3-0 Tribes, 7th inning, bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch. Inside, had a little cut action to it and drove him off the plate. Outfield, medium deep, straight away. Infield, double play depth. 3 between first and second. The third baseman, Suarez, 30 feet off the line at third. The pitch. Down low with a changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here goes Santana again, working deep into the count. Hernandez at third, Ramirez at second, Lindor at first. And Santana at the plate, backs out, takes the helmet off, wipes the sweat out of his eye, and climbs back in. Light breeze blowing in from right on a 74-degree cloudless night in August. De Leon's ready, hands at the belt, here it comes. Missed outside with the hard stuff, and here we go again, a 3-2 count. Boy, the Indians have put themselves in a lot of 3-2 counts tonight. That's baby steps for an offense that's been struggling, starting to see more pitches, starting to be more selective. And now you can pretty much sit dead red if you're Carlos Santana. The payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled upstairs on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. We'll do it again at 3-2. The Indians have hit into 13 double plays this year. That's 1 a game. De Leon needs a double play here to keep it a 3-0 game and get out of the inning. He's ready. The payoff pitch. Inside, he walks him, and the Indians lead 4-0. The 4th walk of the night by Carlos Santana. It's his 3rd RBI. So Santana has matched a career high with 4 walks. Hernandez scores. Ramirez to third. Lindor to second. 4-0 Indians. What an at-bat after he was down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes as pitching coach Derek Johnson out at the mound. Now Franmil Reyes, the hitter. Boy, you talk about a guy that needs a base hit in the worst way. Granted, he got what proved to be a game-winning 2-run homer on Tuesday night. But he is just struggling like the Dickens. 1 for 3 tonight. The batting average is 174, and the big man was acquired for this reason. He can be struggling, but with one swing of the bat can break open a game or win a game at any point. Again, key here for Reyes. Think middle away. Infield, 2 on each side of the bag at second. They're back in double play depth. The pitch. And a fastball, and he took it right down Euclid Avenue for strike 1. Outfielders spread out medium deep. The Indians have loaded them up. 1 down in the 7th. 4-0 Indians. The pitch. Checked on a fastball strike. Not sure what he is looking at, but it's 0-2. Well, it's a magic number for Indians. They lead 4-0. This is the 5th game this year. They've scored 4 runs or more, and they're 4-0 when they do it. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled at the plate, stayed with the hard stuff, and will do it again at 0-2. Cooper Tire, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Go with the Coopers. Joe Namath and the CC Riders out on East 9th Street. I wonder if Ann Margaret made this trip. The pitch. Swing and a foul back. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Why make movies like that anymore?
Thank heavens. That was back in the day when Joe Namath could do nothing wrong. And Ann Margaret didn't have to say one word. And people flocked to the movies.
That's when you still had to go to the theater to see a movie. Remember that?
That was the movie Dad took you to. Now the set and the 2-strike pitch. Swing and a little floater. Shallow right. Drops for a base hit. That'll score Ramirez. Lindor's right behind him. Castellanos throw to the plate. Slide. Safe is Lindor. And the Indians lead it 6-0. A bloop single to right. But for Reyes, it found grass. And it's a 2-run single. And the Indians have blown it open. And now lead the Reds by a score of 6-0 here in the 7th. Santana stopped at second. And for Jose Ramirez, beg your pardon, for Franmil Reyes, he now has 6 RBIs on the year. And Franmil Reyes has to feel like the weight of the world is off his shoulders. That's not the tight hit you expect from him, but boy, the Indians will take it. Here's Domingo Santana. Swings and rips one into right by the diving Votto base hit. Everybody moves up 1, and there's another good sign. It's amazing how much better an offense looks when you start going the other way. And Santana with a single to right. And the Indians have reloaded the bases. They have scored 3 in the 7th. They lead 6-0. And De Leon is going to take one for the team now. Nobody throwing in the Reds bullpen. Oscar Mercado has struck out 3 times. Domingo Santana had struck out 3 times before that sharp single to right. So it's Santana at third, Reyes at second, Santana at first. And Mercado at the plate. And a long inning for De Leon continues. The pitch. And he zings a fastball in there for strike 1. 25th pitch of the inning. The pitch, fisted back, foul and out of play, 0-2. Cody Reed, the left-hander, starts to throw. Well, this is where acting manager Sandy Alomar and pitching coach Carl Willis can take a deep sigh of relief, because now you don't have to worry about not having Brad Hand and James Karinchak available. The pitch, outside a ball, 1-2. Not saying the Reds can't come back. They certainly can. But if this game had stayed 1-0, 3-0, Indians were going to have to pitch in the late innings without their closer and their key setup guy. Indians not ready to push any reliever to working 3 days in a row. Not this soon. The pitch, Mercado waves at the fastball, and he has struck out 4 times tonight. So 2 down and the bases stay empty. I beg your pardon. The bases stay loaded. And the batter will be Bo Taylor. And now the Indians have hit around here in the 7th. 3 in, 3 on the bases, 2 down, 6-0 Cleveland. And Bo Taylor with 2 groundouts and a strikeout, looking for his first hit as an Indian. He's 0 for 11. Left-handed batter, open stance. Taylor takes, and it's off the outside edge, a ball. The next delivery, and it missed outside, ball 2. The Indians with activity, Phil Maton in the bullpen. So it looks like he will work the 8th inning. He's only appeared in 1 game so far. Now the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Boy, Bo Taylor gave those seats in right field a mighty swing as he was trying to reach them. 6-0 Cleveland, bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 down. Taylor, the 9th man to hit. Here it comes. Outside, missed. Boy, all of a sudden this inning, De Leon's just completely gone away from his changeup. 3-1 the count. The pitch, high, and he walked in another run. The second time he's walked in a run as Taylor gets his first RBI as an Indian. 3rd walk in the inning by De Leon, and you would think his night is over. We shall see. The Indians now lead 7-0 as Carlos Santana scores. Franmil Reyes to 3rd. Domingo Santana to 2nd. And Bo Taylor with the bases loaded walk heads to 1st. Delino DeShields started this inning, it seems like an hour ago. And he's going to bat again. The pitch. And it's a slider outside for ball 1. De Leon looks like he's on fumes.
And DeShields started it with that good, solid line drive base hit to the opposite field. And I know you mentioned it, Tom. Indians going that way a lot, and he got it started this inning by going that way.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Inside off the glove of Barnhart. Nobody can move up. The kick to the left about 20 feet. 2-0 the count. This is his 35th pitch of the inning. And it's outside, 3-0. Wow. Well, you know, DeShields is taking here. 1 for 3 with a single in his Indians debut. De Leon's ready. The 3-0. Inside, he walked in another run. And it's 8-0 Cleveland. De Leon has walked 4 this inning and 3 times has walked in a run. And that'll be all. It's a Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen as the Indians have removed all doubt. They have scored 5 times.
700.
Cody Reed, the left-hander, is coming on for Cincinnati, a 5-run seventh as the Indians now lead 8-0. And Cody Reed will be making appearance number 4. He's 0-1. The Reds have had bullpen issues, a bullpen ERA of over 6.5. But you just figure it's only a matter of time before that talented bullpen straightens itself out. Again, things so magnified. Yeah, it's August, but we're 2 weeks into the season. Cody Reed, we saw him last night. He's another guy that's got really good stuff. Mid-90s fastball, sinker, slider, change. Cesar Hernandez will bat right-handed. He singled earlier this inning and scored. Indians with the bases still loaded and a first pitch slider for strike one. Hernandez 1 for 3, a single, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Santana at third, Taylor at second, DeShields at first, and the pitch sails high and wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reds pitchers have thrown over 40 pitches here in the 7th inning. The Indians have 4 hits this inning and 4 walks. The pitch fouled straight back. And this is what the Indians have been looking for. Great to hit some home runs. Better yet, just to keep the line moving with base hits, walks. The Indians have done that here in the 7th inning. Now the 1-2. Swung on, drilled to right, down the line it goes, into the corner. This will clear the bases. Headed for that right field corner. It'll score. Santana, Taylor, DeShields into second with a 3-run double is Hernandez, and it's 11-0 Indians, an 8-run 7th, and another blistered baseball the opposite way into that right field corner by Cesar Hernandez. His 3rd double and the 3 RBIs, giving him 6 on the year.
A lot of Indians breaking out tonight, but Hernandez, he's been pretty consistent since the start of the season and coming up with a big one here tonight. But good approach most of his at-bats this season, and he does it again here in the 7th.
Jose Ramirez, batting right-handed, has had a big night. And he takes a slider down and in for ball 1. Hernandez at second has 2 hits in the inning. Ramirez 0 for 1 this inning, but earlier tonight, solo homer to right, RBI triple to right. The pitch up and in, and it's ball 2, 2-0. So the Reds have not only walked 4 this inning, 3 of those walks forced in a run, and all 4 hitters for the Indians that walked have also scored. The pitch. A swing and a high drive, deep left field, headed for the bleachers, and it is gone. A 2-run home run to left by Jose Ramirez, and for the 2nd time this year, Jose has hit home runs from each side of the plate in the same game. And tonight, 2 home runs, a triple, 4 RBIs, and the Indians have a 10-run 7th and lead 13-0 here in the 7th inning. And now a pinch hitter for Francisco Lindor as Yu Chang will get a rare at-bat. 6th time Jose Ramirez has homered from each side of the plate in the same game, and he's done it twice here in 2020. Yu Chang, a right-handed hitter, takes downstairs a ball. And the Indians have their 13th man to go to the plate here in the 7th. The pitch, and it's high, 2-0. 2 years since the Indians had a 10-run inning. Shoot, this year the Indians haven't scored 10 runs in a week. That pitch swung on, fouled back, 2-1 to count. Isn't that baseball? The Indians had scored 34 runs in their first 13 games, 2.5 runs a game, and they have a 10-run seventh tonight and lead 13-0. The pitch, Chang check swing. Did he go? Yes. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, a little pent-up frustration coming out in one inning for this lineup.
Now the set, now the 2-2. Down low, get it bad here for Yu Chang. He's not just up there wailing away, and especially for a young player. To play so infrequently is so hard on young players because all the time they come up from the minors when they're a prospect, they're playing every day. He takes downstairs and draws a walk. Now that's an impressive at bat for Yu Chang, who's only batted 6 times this season. He was kept today. The Indians released Christian Arroyo when they got down to 28. That's the 5th walk in the inning. Now Carlos Santana, batting right-handed, takes outside, ball 1.
I know you mentioned earlier in the inning about the Reds' bullpen woes and some good arms out there, but they have to be concerned with the lack of command that has led to big innings.
Now the 1-0. Santana looks, and it's down low again. Ball 2, 2-0. The pitch. Santana foul tips it into the catcher's mitt. 2-1 the count. Earlier this inning, Santana with a bases loaded walk to drive in a run. Now the pitch. And it's on the outside corner, a called strike. So the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Indians have scored 10 and lead 13-0 here in the 7th. Runner at first is Chang. The pitch down low, full count. Santana has walked 4 times tonight. 4 plate appearances, 4 walks, which matches a career best. And he's got the count to 3-2. Here it comes. And he drives one high and foul down the right side. Now to play. We'll do it again at 3-2. Tucker Barnhart, the Reds catcher, must be going, what did I do to deserve this inning behind the plate? As the pitches just keep piling up here. Now the 3-2. A swing and a fly ball hit pretty well to center. Back goes Senzel on the track, angling toward right center, and he pulls it down. What an inning for the Cleveland Indians. As one scoreless inning, Yu Chang stays into play short. Indians 13 and the Reds nothing. We go to the 8th inning, and Indians pitching has now thrown 21 consecutive scoreless innings against the Reds. A 1-2-3 inning for Cam Hill. First pitch inside off the glove of Bo Taylor, ball 1. Catcher Tucker Barnhart has grounded out twice. Phil Maton has not pitched in a game since the last day in July, so he's had a week off. Hard to keep your sharpness and command. Fastball, cutter, curve for Maton. That pitch in there at the knees, a called strike. Matt Davidson, a position player, warming for the Reds. Now, the set and the 1-1. Swing and a bouncer hit right over the bag at first. Santana behind the bag at the line, grabs it, goes to the bag himself for the out. The Indians have a 14-man pitching staff, so they have 9 in the bullpen. The Reds have 1 less pitcher. They have a 13-man pitching staff. Yet they're going to use a position player in the 8th inning in Matt Davidson. I didn't think we would see that this year with all these expanded rosters and so many people in the bullpen. Now, Shogo Akiyama is the hitter, and he sends a little floater to left near the line, slicing foul. But the Reds, who've used their bullpen a lot, feel like they just don't want anybody else to throw tonight.
I know there had been some talk before everything happened, and it looked like it might be a normal season, that wouldn't be allowed this year, but evidently not.
Phil Maton, Louisiana Tech University product. The pitch, swing and a miss, got that fastball in on his hands. Maton's throwing with better velocity than we saw a year ago. Really worked on his mechanics. Indians do such a great job with their analytics people and breaking down pitching and getting guys to maximize whatever the good Lord gave them. The pitch swung on a little soft single back up the middle into center, and Akiyama, after striking out 3 times tonight, has the Reds' second hit tonight. They got a base hit in the second, a double by Jesse Winker, and now Akiyama with a single here in the 8th. Last night, the Indians shut the Reds out on 3 hits. And as I mentioned before, Cincinnati now has gone 21 consecutive innings without scoring a run against Indians pitching. Nick Castellanos has lined out, struck out, grounded out. Santana will play behind the runner at first, and the pitch is high, ball 1. Indians overload the left side of the infield. Tomorrow night, Aaron Savali and Dylan Cease, the matchup in Chicago. Tribe and Sox at 8:10 here on the Indians Radio Network. Reds go to Milwaukee. The pitch, a swing and a foul tip, 1-1. St. Louis spent over a week at the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee. Every major league team that goes to Milwaukee stays at the Pfister. There have been some stories about it being haunted. That's not the case, but I'm sure some of the Cardinals thought there was something up being in the Pfister that long.
All you have to do is say it might be, and then the shenanigans start.
Now the set and the 1-1 pitch down in the dirt, kicks away from Taylor to the left. Wild pitch advances Akiyama to second. Well, if you're in Milwaukee for over a week like the Cardinals were, sequestered in their hotel, you can't even go out and get any brats and beer.
That's criminal.
I don't think you can have it delivered. I think the players can do room service, but I don't think they can have food from the outside delivered into the hotel when they're on the road.
And it sounded like yesterday even more strict protocols handed down to try and prevent any type of outbreak again.
Here's the set by Maton and the pitch to Castellanos. And he looks at a ball outside, 3-1. Well, yeah, now you've got basically a compliance officer. It's like these guys are back in school. That has to be kind of the bad guy, so to speak. Make sure the players aren't doing anything and correcting them if they are, or reporting them if they are. How'd you like that job? 3-1, and it's in there, a strike. Of course, the Miami Marlins were only going out for milk and cookies, and yet that's how they got the virus.
Bad batch of milk, huh?
If you're told you can't go out to get coffee or whatever, then you can't go out and get it.
Yeah.
Those are the rules. Payoff. Swung on, and a weak pop into shallow center. Hernandez, the Indians' second baseman, will make the catch. And Derek Jeter had that one-man soliloquy saying, don't come down on our players. They weren't carousing. They weren't going to bars. Well, but at the end of the day, they weren't following the rules. So you impacted Major League Baseball. It doesn't matter if you were, at a strip club or if you were at Grandma's Cookie House. You're not supposed to be doing it.
And it seemed very early on, and again, there's a long way to go. Something could happen, but it feels like the Indians right away as players only got together and really said, hey, this is how it's got to be.
Joey Votto takes the swing, hits a weak tapper to first. Santana has it, flips to Maton covering. 22 innings in a row of shutout baseball thrown by this Indian staff. Travis Jankowski will stay in the game. He'll play right field. Nick Castellanos is out, and Christian Colon is going to come in. and play at first base. And the
Reed at third inning, 2
new
hits,
pitcher is a
2 runners.
position player in Matt Davidson. You know what? He's actually pitched in 3 games in the big leagues before. So Matt Davidson, usually a DH, and the Reds decide they are not going to use anybody else in their bullpen tonight. Been a long night for the Reds, and after one white knuckler after the other in this series, a blowout game with the Indians 10 runs 7th, 13-0 Cleveland in the 8th. Mike Freeman will bat for Franmil Reyes, and the first pitch from Davidson misses for ball 1. So this is a chance now for Sandy Alomar to get some guys some playing time. The pitch swung on, hammered to deep right, but foul. Franmil Reyes tonight had a huge 2-run single in the 7th. He was 2 for 4. But Mike Freeman gets the at-bat here in the 8th. 13-zip Indians. The pitch. Freeman checks on a fastball. It's a strike. And the count 1-2. The next delivery, a swing and a foul upstairs. Still a 1-2 count. Well, Jose Ramirez, for the second time this year, has hit home runs from each side of the plate in the same game. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul back again. Still a 1-2 count. Jose Ramirez has done that 6 times now in his career, and he did it against Kansas City. 3-run homer left-handed, a solo right-handed. Breaking ball and strike 3 called. Freeman is out looking. 68-mile-an-hour curveball. Freeman hasn't seen one of those since Legion Ball. 1 down. Domingo Santana 1 for 4 with a single. Tonight, Jose Ramirez, solo homer to right, left-handed. 2-run homer to left field, right-handed, plus an RBI triple. So 2 homers, a triple, and 4 RBIs. A swing by Santana, a rocket to left, dropping to his knees. Akiyama catches it in left. 2 down. And Oscar Mercado with 4 strikeouts in the ballgame. He'll step to the plate. Terry Francona will not manage the Indians in Chicago, and hopefully Tito will be good to go come next Tuesday night when the Indians entertain the Chicago Cubs. Davidson's pitch swung on, bounced up the middle, base hit into left center, and Mercado will take it. Now Bo Taylor 0 for 3, but a bases loaded walk to drive in a run in the Indians' 10-run 7th. When the Indians sent 14 men to the plate, they walked 5 times in that inning and had 6 hits, scored 10, and lead it 13-0. What gets lost in this is how good Carlos Carrasco was. The pitch is swung on and popped up. Right side of the infield, Galvis in on the grass, makes the catch, and Taylor, thus he made that one start when the Indians had the conventional 9-inning doubleheader against the White Sox. And Pletko was tremendous in that game, but he hasn't pitched since that game on July 28th. And he'll get an inning of work here now in the 9th. Indians up 13-0. Eugenio Suarez fouls it at the plate. Mike Freeman stays in to play at first. So Phil Maton a scoreless inning, Cam Hill a scoreless inning, and Carlos Carrasco blanked the Reds in 6 innings of 1-hit baseball, striking out 8. The wind by Pletko in the pitch, and a curve hit foul third base side. 0-2. Pletko was outstanding in that effort against the White Sox as he got the win going 6 innings, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. The wind and the pitch to Suarez. A swing and a miss. Got him on a slider away. And that's 11 strikeouts for Indians pitching tonight. The Indians looking for back-to-back shutouts against the Cincinnati Reds. And if they get a shutout here tonight, that'll be 23 consecutive innings of shutout baseball by the Indians against a really, really good offense. The wind and pitch. Jesse Winker slices one to the gap in left center. It'll be a base hit. And Winker has a 2-for-4 night. So the Reds have just their third hit tonight. They had 3 hits last night when they were shut out. The good news is for Cincinnati, they're just not going to see better pitching than they saw in the 4 games. Cleveland's, this isn't flukish, folks. This has been going on for the last 5 years. Nick Senzel 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The right-hander Pletko delivering, Senzel taking its low ball 1. And if this Indians offense gets it going like they did tonight, well, this club could really take off.
Yeah, little by little, various parts of that batting order starting to get it going, and that could be really scary for the opposition.
Now the 1-0, and it's in there. Keep your business operating with Ohio's expert commercial truck dealerships, Valley Ford Truck and Valley Ford of Huron, your full-line Ford Transit and Super Duty truck leaders. 13-0 Indians, 9th inning. The pitch to Senzel, and he checks and takes strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You're shipping from Cleveland or through Cleveland, choose Global Transport. It's Northeast Ohio's preferred provider for transportation and logistics management. Now the 1-2 delivery. A swing and a chopper to third. On the short hop, Ramirez to second. 1 relay to first. Double play. Ball game. And the Indians pitch back-to-back shutouts against Cincinnati. They pitched 23 consecutive scoreless innings against the Reds. And then tonight explode for 10 runs in the 7th. And they annihilate Cincinnati here tonight by a final score of 13-0. Swung on, hit high.